to Textron Aviation Presents Q&A of the Day. I'm your host, Mindy Lindheim, and I'll be taking you through some of our favorite and most commonly asked questions at Sun and Fun 2021. Let's get to it. The first question is, what's the advantages of a high wing and a low wing aircraft? At Textron Aviation, we make both. We have low wing like the Bonanza and the Baron, and we have high wings like the 182 and 206. I'd say on the low wing, the advantage is the handling characteristics. It's got really good responsiveness to the pilot. And for the high wings, the high wing has great visibility and stability if you're learning how to fly. And it's also really easy to get in and out of the cabin. Next question is, can you remove the seats in the Cessna 206? So yes, you can. You can remove the middle row seats, but you can also remove the back bench, and that's the most common way that people take the seats out of their 206. It just has a few pins. It takes about 5 minutes, and that entire back bench will come out. Last time I did that, I went on a golfing trip with one of my coworkers and a friend of ours. We took out the back bench, and we had so much room for all of our bags and our golf clubs. So that is a really good option to put it in and out as much as you want. Next question is, can the 182 have air conditioning? Yes, it can, and yes, I recommend it. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, where it's very, very hot, so I love having air conditioning in our aircraft. The air conditioning in the 182 is an electric air conditioner system, so it's not engine driven, and it weighs about 60 pounds. What does 3D audio mean? So 3D audio is one of our newer features, and that means that you can be listening to 2 different radio frequencies in the aircraft and listen to COM 1 in your left or right ear and COM 2 in the other ear. So whenever I use 3D radio or 3D audio, I'm typically using it when I'm coming in on approach, trying to listen to ATIS and get the weather to land. I can listen to the weather in one ear and listen to the controller in the other ear, and it really helps you focus in on one or the other and be able to listen to both at the same time. Next question is, do any of your piston planes have FIKI? So FIKI is flight into known icing, and yes, our Baron, the Beechcraft Baron G58, does have FIKI. It has a boot system, and I really like the boot system because versus TKS, you can run out of TKS fluid. The boots, you always have them, so I really like the boots on the Baron. Next question is, what's the ceiling, the service ceiling, of the Cessna Turbo 206 Stationaire? The ceiling is 26,000 feet. The Stationaire has a turbo Lycoming engine. It's the IO 540, 310 horsepower, can get you up to 26,000 feet. And the cool thing about the 206 is that there's built-in oxygen for all 6 people. Here's a good question. I have 0 glass experience. Is it hard to learn the Garmin G1000 NXI? That's a really great question, and a lot of our customers go through this same transition. It can seem a little daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's a really awesome tool as you're flying. There's a lot of online resources for learning the glass panel, the Garmin G1000, and when you buy a new airplane from us, we do have in-house training where you come to Wichita and fly with our pilots for a few days and really get to learn the G1000. The next question is, what are cowl flaps and when do you use them? So cowl flaps can be a little bit different as you start to grow through your pilot career. You might notice them on the Beechcraft Bonanza or the 182 Skylane. Cowl flaps are these little doors on the bottom of the cowling that open and close, and the pilot has a lever in the cockpit to be able to do that. So the cowl flaps are for engine temperature management. Whenever the aircraft is taxiing or taking off or climbing out, that's when the engine is the most hot, and you're in pitch attitudes where the wind, the relative wind, cannot cool the engine down efficiently. So we have these little doors called cowl flaps that you open and let the heat come out the bottom. But when you're in cruise or descending to land, that's when you have a lot of air coming through the nose of the cowling and cooling down the engine, and that's when you'd want the cowl flaps closed. So super easy to use, a lot of airplanes have them, and it just helps you with temperature management. Do I need a type rating to fly the Cessna 208 Caravan? That's a really great question. Here in the US, the FAA does not require you to have a type rating. They only require you to have your private pilot license and a high performance endorsement. So pretty easy to start sitting up front in the Caravan. The next question, where does Textron Aviation keep their demo planes? We are based in Wichita, Kansas. That's where Textron Aviation headquarters is. So most of the time, you can find quite a few demo planes there. That's where we do a lot of service on them and maintenance and keep up with them, and that's kind of their home base. But at any given time, our demo planes are all around the entire world, and they're going to shows and fly-ins and doing customer demonstration flights and hopefully selling a lot of airplanes. The last question for today is, how fast is the Beechcraft Bonanza G36? The Bonanza is one of my favorite airplanes because it is fast. Last time I was flying it out of Atlanta, I was at 6,000 feet and I was at 176 knots true airspeed. So it is a quick bird, and what I really love about that is that you can see the max performance, the max cruise at such a low altitude. So you don't have to climb up into the teens to be able to see max cruise of 176. You can be nice and low and start getting fast right away. That's all for today. Thanks for joining us. Come back later this week for Textron Aviation Presents Q&A of the Day.